What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Deontay's Boxing Nation. My main man in crime, so to speak, has made a video about Deontay Wilder answering the mysterious substance that dropped out of DEAS'S towel, and he quickly picked it up, and it looked suspicious because nobody really knew what it was. Okay, and Deontay he was making the point, well, why is when he says he doesn't do drugs or anything like that, why couldn't you believe him when he tells you it was just gauche, where he's showing you that Tyson Fury cheated, or Tyson Fury allegedly cheated, let's say that, and he's showing you, and he says that he's cheated. Why can't you believe him on that? Okay, well, let me counterpunch. The reason why people don't believe that is because from one still shot of what you have with a glove in a picture, and then you claim that's Glovegate 2.0. That's the only thing you saw. Glovegate, the original, was the first fight. Glovegate 2.0 was the second fight, and then that's when it had like the glove look like it was missing padding, and you seen the knuckle imprint in the glove. It did look suspicious from that angle. It did. Okay, but that's the only thing you have. And the problem with that is, here's the problem. There's a difference between seeing a still shot of something versus seeing a video of something else. JD's had some weird thing fall out of his person, right? And then a guy on Deontay Wilder's team, which is Mark Breland, was accused of spiking water. Well, there's also just enough evidence that JD's could have done that rather than Mark Breland. Okay, that's for one. For two, you're taking what Deontay Wilder says because he took a loss, because this is what it comes down to. He took a loss, then he's looking for reasons why he took that loss. If the reasons for it was because somebody else was cheating, that was one thing. But if that was the case, why didn't you catch him in the first fight? I always go back to that because it's like nobody cared as long as Deontay Wilder had his O. So that means all you guys either decided to be ignorant or decided to overlook the floppy glove in the first fight, and that wasn't a factor in the first fight. Why? Because he didn't lose. Then he had a draw. That should have been worse enough because he didn't win. And then, I would respect all these channels more if they would have kept the same energy with Tyson Fury throughout. That's why I'm convinced that they are yes men, because yes men go along with any and everything a particular person says. And in this case, it's Deontay Wilder. Okay? So Deontay will go along with anything he says without having his own mindset. You see what I mean? Have your own mindset. Draw your own conclusion. Because I know when you stop that video, you have a certain idea of something else possibly going wrong or could have went wrong. Counterpunch. I know that. Because after the first fight, none of you guys seen that floppy glove go move all around and the way he was flicking it out and long as it was. Nobody even cared to mention that each time. If it was, shout out to them. But I didn't see anything about any kind of glove gate or any type of issue that the LDBC had with Tyson Fury in the first fight. That's why I don't believe it. I don't buy into the bullshit. I don't. Okay, and then the more and more that people start unraveling things and looking at things, the more and more it looks like Deontay Wilder fired the wrong person. Now he can, Wilder, I think he's a prideful man. I think, he's a loyal guy, and I think he's going to back JD's. And if he did that in this situation, because I didn't watch the whole video. I just heard what he said about blaming Tyson Fury. And why can't you guys believe Deontay Wilder? Because Deontay Wilder don't know. He honestly does not know. You know what I'm saying? Because me, fairly speaking, I wish him well if he's going to take Tyson Fury to court. Because at least he's consistent for what he said or what I heard that he's going to do. or should I say what I was told he was going to do. Okay. So at least I would know, and I have a peace of mind in saying that that person that told me that wasn't full of shit and he was telling the truth, you know, and then I hear that. So if that happens, cool. And whenever, whatever he does, I hope he has enough to get justice if there's any injustice that was done to Deontay Wilder. But see, the fact of the matter is we don't know every factor. Okay. But what we do know and what they are, what they have on the table and what's presented to us is not enough. It ain't enough. And then when you see JD something fall out and then it looks suspicious where he had the towel and he was rubbing it. He could have been rubbing his mouth. He could have been doing that. But see, understand this. Understand something very important. The more people reach on either side, okay, the more it gets worse and the harder it is to really draw the conclusion of the truth. Okay, so for them saying, oh, well, man, did you see Ricky Hatton pull down his glove? That's the same way of people can say, man, did you see JD's feed him something from a towel? Now, neither one of those was not the real of the truth, or we don't really know, because perception is what you think you see. Okay, so what we thought we seen was we saw something fall out of that towel of JD's, right? DEAS'S. So we don't know what it was, but at the end of the day, you can make an argument either way. But this is what happens when everything comes out, when people start looking at that fight. I've saw that fight now maybe 24 times, maybe about 30 times. So a little bit more than that. And I've been looking, honestly, because I'm the kind of guy, I'm like, okay, why are these guys making these videos? Do they really believe what they're saying, or are they just doing this to peddle money? You know, they're yes men, and if the yes men are getting views, and that's what their objective is. Okay, they're achieving their objective. Okay, because people are watching it, and as long as people watch it, they're going to keep making videos. I get it, but do they really believe that? And see, I'm not the kind of guy that be like, well, you're a liar, you're a liar. I'm a guy that's saying, you know what? I believe that you don't know and you're yes men, and I think you're full of shit because you are a yes man. You don't have your own mind. You don't have that idea of saying, you know what, it does look suspicious. It did look suspicious. It did. It absolutely did look suspicious from JD's. But at one point, since you're reaching so far over here to defend this guy, what are you going to do with something that you see with your naked eye? This is just as relevant. Because you can reach and think and draw your own conclusion about JD's, especially if you believe that it was a snake in the camp. Counterpunch. But anyway, this video was by special request, and so I counterpunched that on the behalf of that particular person. Shout out to them; they know who they are. You guys, tell me what you think of Deontay Wilder explaining the substance or the object that fell out of the towel of JD's. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.